Okay, in this piece, I'm looking at the symmetry of the design of the balance of what's happening, and I was using a kind of a devil's horns kind of idea with two side faces. What is the composition? It's really about about the dark blue in the center and the horns, the red horns going up. And this creates a particular symmetry that is not quite symmetrical. As if you take a really good look at it, you'll see that it's not symmetrical. It's not even on both sides. But I'm looking for somewhat symmetry in this, and the reminder that simplicity is important. And this is very much simplicity for what I'm doing. So the conversation's on the sides of the horns, the signs of the horns. And that's the kind of thing that I wanted to have happen more often, that people are not really talking to each other when they're talking. And that's important to understand, that what we're talking about sometimes is conversations that go nowhere, but are kept by two people for their own amusement, I could say. We're looking at the importance of also the balance of color. Is the color balancing and working with it as well as working against it? So we have a contrast of colors in here, and the importance of not talking to each other. Let's look at the next one and see what's happening. This is more complicated than the one we just looked at, and it was done before the other one. And we're really looking at multiple aspects, multiple aspects as was used in Cubism in the early part of the 20th century. The important thing is when I changed the orange in the center and made it more lighter and brought it up to a different orange. The orange that goes around the outside of the shape is the orange that is the shape of the head and the shape of the forms. But the one inside is the thoughts. Inside the lighter orange is about thinking and about conversations that are amongst each other. The red profile on the right side is talking to no one. The blue on the left side is talking to everybody who will listen. Who listens to you is very important. Do you know how to know people are looking for you and to want to talk to you? Do people want to talk to you about what's going on or what's happening? Or is it just something that you just want to have happen? I think it's both. The darks on both sides, the dark blues on both sides, also represent that space that happens when people talking into space and may not mean that they're reaching anybody. We want to reach out to people when we talk. If they're not listening, it's very frustrating, of course. But on the other hand, it's something that we have to expect happens. We can't have people listening to us all the time. I think that's unrealistic. Let's just remember that in the overall shape of things, well, who's listening, who isn't? And that's what this is about. These are cool colors against warm colors, with some warm colors running through the cool colors, the blues and the greens, and the reds and the yellow. This conversation is about two sides of a story, and it's about something to do with color, but it's also something to do with whatever they're talking about, which doesn't really matter in the end as long as the colors tell the story, and the colors are telling the story. The cools against the warms. So the warm side, the left side, really tells the story of an interest and is more listening. And the cool side is more talking, where the blues and the greens are. So the conversations right there is just more one-sided. Let's look at that little the orange spot on the nose, and it's just there to break up the shape on the right side and make that part of the little bit of warms that are in that side. We're trying to make a connection to the other side, to the left side figure. The right side figure is trying to make a connection to the left side figure, and it's only a partial connection. Okay, these guys are talking, and especially the right side is really doing the talking. The left side is not always listening, but it's there as a part of the connection that they both have. There's a connection in the green on the left side, connecting to the green on the right side, and what's happening with that, and is there something happening with the green outside the black line down in the lower left. We may not always understand conversations, but we may not always understand why the conversation is happening. It may be just happening to happen. This is important to understand because sometimes we're just talking to talk. We're making up our own conversation. Let's look at the blue in the bottom lip on the right side. That's a very important part of the conversation because it stands out by itself. It's the part of the conversation that is considered to be important to the color-wise and thought-wise. Let these shapes be what they are. They're kind of free forms in their own right, but they will really get to the important things in life, and that is that we're not isolated, and not isolated from other people and from ideas.